Hey everyone, Mirai here, and welcome to yet another fun-filled, exciting video of not multiboxing. But there's a good reason for that. There's a very good reason for that. There should have been a video out already of me multiboxing, but that's not going to happen at the moment. We have some issues, hardware issues. So machine number two, this is the machine that had problems in the past, just recently, just a few months ago, right? Obviously up and running, like a champ, all lit up and nice. This one, not so lit up, not so powered on, not so plugged in anymore. Why? Why not? I don't know yet, okay? I don't know yet. We've narrowed it down to either motherboard or CPU. I got a spare motherboard here. I need to pull all that crap out. You drain the system, pull all the bullshit out of it, put it in a new motherboard and see what happens. The RAM is fine, but the CPU may still be fucked. Who knows? Who knows? I've got insurance on it, but I don't know how fast Intel replaces broken CPUs. I've never had a CPU go bad on me before. The issue is, and I mentioned this, if you watch the hardware talk video of mine months ago, where I was talking about X99 versus 299 versus 399, right? And I'm pretty sure I mentioned something about this machine and its motherboard having a bit of an issue detecting the M.2 drive on board. Whenever I was restarting the machine, I would have to hit restart several times. Well, just 3 days ago, I was having such a difficult time getting the machine to detect the onboard device. I could literally sit here, no joke, no exaggeration. I sat it for over 30 minutes, pressing the restart button, trying to hoping that it would detect the M.2 device. And when it doesn't, it goes straight to the BIOS, and then that's it. It doesn't even see the drive. 30 plus minutes, no exaggeration. That is an honest estimate right there. And that happened more than once. Once I finally got back into the system, and this was actually something that I hadn't attributed to prior to thinking, to realizing that I had an issue. I did do a video in Hellfire RAM parts now that 735 is out, and I rendered it out, and when I go back to watch it, it's got all this artifacting in it. And there's just, sometimes there's some frames that have artifacts, and most of the frames don't, but sometimes there's a whole frame is artifacted, sometimes some of it's artifacted, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Is my source footage bad? Looking back at the source footage, there's no issues with it as expected. I didn't expect there would be. I mean, I watched it in Premiere Pro prior to rendering it out, making sure that everything was right, and it was. So I rendered it out, and I've got a shitty copy all of a sudden. This has never happened to me. And I'm like, what is going on here, So I render it out lossless. The lossless version actually came out just fine, but of course the lossless version is like 300 gigabytes worth of a file, which you can't really upload to YouTube anyway. So I render off of the lossless one in Handbrake instead of using Premiere Pro's Adobe Media Encoder, instead of using just Adobe Media Encoder. I'm sorry I'm speaking so quickly. I have a fish in the oven. There's always something going on, right? I render out the lossless one. There's still artifacts, but in different places at this time. I'm totally blown away as to what's happening. I have no idea. So then all of a sudden I start getting blue screens. The machine is locking up on me, it's restarting, and of course then I have to sit here and play with this thing for however long it takes to detect the M.2 device on the board. And it's just, what it came down to was, I thought the RAM might have been bad, I thought the overclock was bad or something, so here I am, I've just revert the BIOS back to stock, and no, that didn't fix anything. And in fact, when I did that is when it actually got incredibly worse. And I thought maybe the M.2 device was corrupt, or maybe the connection itself was corrupt, because I was like, I'm having problems getting to that device or getting that device to detect. And lo and behold, I tried to install to an external SATA drive. Then lo and behold, that wasn't the issue. I'm having problems restarting into the first boot up of Windows after you do a fresh install. I'm blue screening there. All of a sudden, I'm trying to reinstall, because I was trying to troubleshoot at the same time power supply and SATA drive, SATA ports, RAM and whatnot. So I'm doing a bunch of Windows reinstalls, and eventually I got to the point to where it wouldn't even install Windows. Would not even get through the entire Windows install just off the USB stick. So that's where we are with the machine. It's not the RAM. I tested the RAM over here. Thankfully, I do have another X99 system now to test that stuff. Tested the power supply, tested, like I said, SATA drive, SATA ports. None of it is making any difference. So it's either CPU or motherboard. PCI Express lane distribution is what's being affected here. I didn't realize that. I realized it at a later point in time after some of my troubleshooting and pulling some of the crap out of this thing. But that's what the problem is, and the motherboard controls that circuitry on the board, but the CPU also handles that as well. So what is it? Is it motherboard or CPU? I'm hoping that it's the motherboard, seeing as I have a replacement right here. And even if it is the CPU, I can't actually send this back for a refund. It's a replacement only policy. So I'd have to sell it at a loss on eBay or something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point, whatever's happening there. So yeah, it's not the 735 changes that have scared me off or anything like that. It's simply that this machine is dead as of 3 days ago. I have to drain it again. I hopefully will be able to do that tonight. And if I can even get all of the shit out of there and get to the chip, I'm going to want to go to sleep before I put the chip in the new board. So we'll probably work on that tomorrow morning, which will be Friday morning, and that'll be that. But yeah, so good news. So there's some good news here. There's good news. I went out to wherever I was going the other day. I was leaving the apartment, and there's a piece of paper stuck to my door. And whatever, the apartment building needs to let its residents know that something's going on, so they just put papers on all the people's doors. I read the paper, and I'll put it up on the screen because some of it needs to be blacked out because there's personal information. I don't need people camping. I don't need my fans outside my window, clearly. But as you can see, they're installing fiber optic internet into my building on Monday and Tuesday. Fiber optic internet. I was just bitching about this. I have been bitching about this for the 3 years I've lived here. Dealing with 4K content, I don't think people really understand how large this stuff is. A lot of people still play at 1080. Some people have adopted 1440, and I always try to steer people away from going to 4K simply because, if you're a multi-boxer trying to do 4K, you need top of the line, pretty much some really good stuff, right? And people don't normally want to dish out all that money. So, and that's understandable. So, just to put this into perspective, my 4K videos of the actual gameplay stuff, the 4K videos, they have a lot of motion in them and a lot of stuff going on, can't be compressed as well, simply because the data needs to be retained into the video file to let the player knows what the hell's going on. The player is in the video player. So my 4K videos are anywhere between 2 to 7 gigabytes. My internet that I pay $60 a month for is 15 megabits down, 2 megabits up. I get about 225 kilobytes per second on an upstream when I upload, and that's full blast. That's full blast. If I need to upload a video in the middle of the day, I don't want my web pages to load like I'm on a 56.7 modem, or 56.6, is it? 36.6 and 56.7, right? Yeah, 36.6. 33.6? Was it 33.6? No, it was 36.6, and it was 57. It's been a long time since I've had dial-up. But I don't want my internet to feel like I'm on dial-up, right? So I don't just let YouTube just suck all my bandwidth up. I limit that to about 150 kilobytes per second, and then that makes the upload take even longer. And I get about, if I'm at full blast, I get about an hour per gigabyte on the video file. So that is one thing that really restricts me getting content out, especially, and I talked to someone about this in my comments section just the other day, about how YouTube can sometimes decide not to actually encode my videos properly, and then I have to re-upload it. So if I have to upload a video that takes 7 to 10 hours because I'm doing it during the day and I'm throttling the upstream, if I need to do that, then I have to wait for YouTube to do it. YouTube's going to take anywhere between 4 to 24 hours or more to encode a video until 4K shows up at its nice crisp 60 frame per second quality. So what I'm getting at, long story short, is that I will actually be able to upload stuff a lot faster. Now, I don't know the speeds that are available. I don't know the prices that they're going to try to gouge us at, because $15.2 for $60 a month. AT&T has several different speed tiers available in the fiber category. So it could be anywhere between 50 megabits, 100 megabits, all the way up to 1,000 megabits, which is 1 gigabit. So if I have access to gigabit internet, there may be some streaming. Again, dude and dudettes, okay? I am a big time introvert. Outside of you see me happy smiling here on the video, a lot of energy. This takes a lot out of me. After the cameras go off, I'm like, we're done. I'm done for the day. We're done, totally done. So I'm not someone who's gonna stream for hours on end. That's just not going to happen. A few hours here, a few hours there, great. Something scheduled so people can kind of expect what's happening. Potentially, yes. I don't want to jump the gun on this. I don't know the speeds that are going to be available. Again, they've offered us horse shit in the past for a ton of money, and Who says they're going to give us gigabit? I'm not sure. I'll talk to the technicians come Monday and try to get some more information, because the front office has not told me. Like, we don't know what speeds or prices are available. Oh, thank you for the information. But I am the first building being done. It's going to take about 6 months to do the entire property, but I am the first building being done on the property, and I should have it when it's available by the end of February-ish, we're hoping. So I'll be able to upload stuff a lot faster, get stuff out a lot faster. If there's any mistakes, I can just call, cancel that upload and get a new render and get it out faster instead of being like 14 hours behind schedule. I can upload, it's going to be amazing. And if I can stream, if I have gigabit or something even remotely fast, like 500 megabits per second is still pretty good. So if I can get something like that, I could actually stream to Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. So people can pick whatever platform they want. And when I stream to, if and when I stream to YouTube, I can actually do 4K streaming. 4K streaming, people. 60 frames per second, 4K streaming to YouTube. And I think I might actually be able to do that eventually on Twitch if I become like popular enough, but they don't let like newcomers do that stuff. So I gotta go take care of the stuff in the kitchen. It's dinner time, and then I gotta drain this thing. I'm not looking forward to that. I gotta figure out how to get the excess water out of it that doesn't want to come out because of the weird loop-de-loops and stuff and tubing and whatnot. But today's been a bunch of research on water cooling stuff, because of course I have to replace half the shit because I do have more growth in this system. Man, that is an ongoing battle. I never did that video about water cooling, but water cooling can really be a bunch of bullshit. There's absolutely no doubt about that. It's amazing. It's so much fun to be like the architect and design custom loops and all that. Be like, this is amazing. There's so much to choose from. It's the Wild West. There are no rules. There's very few rules in water cooling. And other than that, there's a lot to pick from. There's a lot of information you need. And on top of it all, it could just be a bunch of bullshit in the end, and very expensive bullshit. So I'm not happy about that. You're like, Mariah, you live such a luxurious life with all these machines. Yeah, I'm fucking broke all the time. Okay, it's not fun having to buy an expensive ass motherboard to replace it just to test if the 10-core chip is any good. I gotta go make dinner. You people, stay frosty. I gotta go. See, we're out of the light now, so you can't really see me. I gotta go to the kitchen. Peace out, gangsters.